Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today's card features the November 2015 Simon Says Stamp card kit. And it has some great fall-themed pattern papers, embellishments, and a wonderful exclusive stamp set as well. You can also purchase the stamp set individually if you would prefer just to pick up the stamp set. To start my card, I'm going to use some exclusive Simon Says Stamp dies. These are the frames dies, and I'm going to die cut both the scallop frame and then the really thin rectangular frame from some of the brown cardstock included in the November kit. I'm going to pop those out. I'm going to be using both that scallop frame and the skinny frame on my card. The inside piece I can just set aside for another project. So I'll go ahead and pop those out and set those to the side. Now for the pattern paper piece or panel that I'll be using on the inside of the card, what I'm doing is kind of creating an inlay design for the actual frame and background. So I'm going to make sure I line up that skinny frame inside of the scallop frame. Try to get it as even on all four sides as possible, tape it in place, and then die cut it from that wood grain pattern paper in the kit. Originally, I thought I would use both that little piece there that was left on the cutting pad and the actual inside rectangle piece, but I changed my mind and actually die cut another rectangle or that little skinny piece from a green plaid paper from the kit, and you'll see that in a little bit, but I'm going to be inlaying all those together. I also used the new Stitched Pumpkins die from Simon Says Stamp and die cut some of the orange and green pattern papers in the kit so that I can piece together those great die cuts. I stamped the greeting, or I'm going to be stamping the greeting, the largest greeting from the stamp set included in the November kit, on that wood grain pattern paper background. I'm using Versamark ink. I'm going to use a couple of greetings from the stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and add my embossing powder first to this large greeting, and then I'm going to take the smaller greeting. It's so cute. It reads, P.S. that includes you. So the entire greeting is going to read, so incredibly grateful for all of my blessings. P.S. that includes you. You could also use that P.S. that includes you on the inside of the card if you prefer, but I kind of liked it just right below the larger greeting. Then I will heat set that with the white embossing powder. Next, I'm going to take some Rusty Hinge Distress ink to these orange die cut pumpkins. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my craft mat because it's so much easier to clean than my self-healing mat there that I use underneath my projects. And I'm going to apply that Rusty Hinge Distress ink mostly to the bottom portion of this pumpkin. It's very tone on tone. It's not going to be a huge difference, but you can see there from the small and the medium, or the large and medium pumpkins rather, just what a little bit of adding distress ink does to those pumpkins. It really just kind of adds some nice depth and dimension. Go ahead and do that for the smaller pumpkin as well. I played around with several distress inks on a scrap of this colored cardstock before I applied the ink, trying to find the one I liked the best, and I really like that Rusty Hinge. Then I'm going to take some gathered twigs and very carefully add just a tiny bit along the bottom of each, and then color in the stem as well. And that's going to give, I really like that the stem is not the same color as the pumpkin. A really easy way to add a little bit of color. For the green leaves, I'm going to take a little Forest Moss Distress ink and very, very carefully just add a little bit of that. I'm covering up for the most part, most of the leaf, but I want a little bit of that base color to show through just to give it that tone on tone effect where it goes from lighter to darker. And I'm going to color in just 4 of these. The leaf die from the Stitched Pumpkins set actually cuts 5, but I'm not going to use that smallest one for my card today. I'm I'm going to go ahead and attach my stamped panel directly to this side folding card, also included in the card kit this month. I'm going to line that up and place that right in the middle of the side folding card using some nice secure adhesive. Then I'm going to take a glue pen and trace a line all the way around this rectangle. This is going to be for that really skinny brown cardstock frame. Now go ahead and just pop that around there and try to get it right next to the center wood grain background rectangle. Push it there with my fingernail to make sure I get it lined up really nicely. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw another line of adhesive all the way around this. And this is where I'm going to attach that little skinny piece between that thin rectangle frame and then the scallop rectangle frame. And I decided to cut that from that green gingham background instead of the wood grain. And I love how that turned out. I like that little pop of color around the edge of my card there in between those two dark brown cardstock frames. Again, I'm going to just make sure all of those frames kind of butt up against each other. And then I'm going to place something heavy on this. I like to use acrylic blocks because they're handy. And lay those down until that glue dries so that the frames stay nice and secure. On the smaller of the two pumpkins, it has a larger section there. I'm going to take the small heart from the stamp set and emboss that, or stamp that with Versamark ink and emboss it with white embossing powder. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach my pumpkins right above my stamped and embossed greeting. You can really see the difference that the Distress ink adds to these die cut pieces now. Go ahead and take the leaves, and I'm going to use some bling glue dots to attach these around the stems on each of the pumpkins. And that green really draws your eye in then from that frame on the outside to the leaves there. I just like that pop of color. I'll finish by adding my other two leaves to my smaller pumpkin. And that is going to finish this fall-themed gratitude card. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the Simon Says Stamp November 2015 card kit. The supplies I've used to create this card are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly card making and stamping videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.